don't, you should. We do. Some of the things in law enforcement and social media is that your personal Facebook pages and the information that you share, that your employees share, are subpoenaable for court. And all of a sudden, your act is public knowledge and it's in a courtroom and it's forefront. So you got to really watch what you do and say. Whatever you put out there, it's out there forever. You can say, oh, it's going to go away or it disappears after a while. It's always there. 80.4% of agencies report that social media have helped solve crimes in their jurisdiction. 73.1% of agencies state that social media have improved police-community relationships in their jurisdictions. The power of social media. We had a guy that was wanted out of Franklin County, Kentucky. He was wanted for non-support, a couple other things that he had done. He moved to Florida. Well, he got on and saw we have a most wanted, sheriff most wanted. It's old school most wanted. It's pretty cool. And he kind of taunted us a little bit. And we found out about that, power of social media. When he taunted us, we were able to reach out and touch him. And I'll show you a little bit more about that. Just to show you what time is being spent by who and who's doing what, this kind of says it all. You know, we used to spend a lot of time in front of TVs. That's what we did, you know, back in the day. Now we spend it on these, and those, and that. That's what we do now. We spend a lot of our time sitting there. I'm sure in the last hour and a half, there's been some people doing this. And it's this very room. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm sure that's been happening. But if you look at who is spending time, most everybody, and even the demographics, even my mom is on Facebook. She's 80 or 78 years old, and she's on Facebook. And she's connected with a lot of her friends that she went to school with, that she used to work with, and just friendships from over years. And now she keeps up with them and what's happening. That's good and bad. I'll tell you a little bit more about that too. But as you can see, the demographics and who uses what, it's pretty significant. A lot of people are spending a lot of time. You've heard it before. This is the wave of the future. It is coming. Embrace it. Again, this is a little bit outdated, but the top social apps, and I like the slide earlier that the folks from the UK had. I thought that was excellent. And it really does show how much time and how many people and how much stuff is out there. MySpace was one of the first social media networks out there. That's old school. It's gone. And actually, Facebook's trending away somewhat because of Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, some of those things. Some of the other things that we do with social media, connecting with the public. If you're from Frankfort or here, when we started our Facebook page, we were one of the first in this area to do it 4 years ago. As a result, we're almost 8,000 strong on it now. We post crashes, traffic hazards, winter advisories, the stuff that emergency management sends out. We share and repost a lot of that. But now we got people following us, and they're coming to our page for that information. They're depending upon the Franklin County Sheriff's Office to find out what the traffic backup is on I-64. Where should I go around? Where else should I go? What should I do? What happens if this happens? Where should I go? And we're sharing that information. A text or tip, a $30 phone bill a month. We have a text or tip phone. This isn't it. One of the guys has it, but a text or tip phone, $30 a month. Texting. Everybody has this. So you can take a picture, you can take video, and you can send a text. And as a result of a $30 a month phone bill, $360 a year, to put it in perspective, because times are tight. Everybody's pinching their pennies. It's amazing how much information, if you rely on the old school way of doing that, and I say old school, some of the older ways of getting that information, they'll call dispatch, they'll talk to his dispatcher, you may get it eventually. This is instant, it's now, it's as it happens. And that's been huge for us. We have solved so many cases just because somebody cared enough to send a text. We don't strip the information. We don't know who it is, but we won't give that information up neither. And actually, some people have been surprised because the detective or deputy that has it, I had two of them, they switch off every month or so. They were blown away, first of all, by the amount of information we get and the intelligence, but you've heard it before, communication is key. We're getting so much intelligence, I need to hire an intelligence officer. I really do, because we have so much. Between our Facebook, our text to tip, Twitter, we have so much coming in that you got to be able to manage that. The text tip, huge, instant information. And, you know, we look at everything as a possible setup for officer safety to make sure the guys stay safe. And honestly, 99.9% of the stuff we've got have been spot on. Good, valid, credible information, because the community knows we're going to act. And then when we act, it sure does make a difference. And they keep the information coming. So it's huge for us. The Sheriff's Most Wanted, I'll show you a little bit more. Criminal investigations, there's things with narcotics. You'll be amazed. You know, you've heard make it rain. Well, these guys will flash thousands of dollars and take their picture and they'll post it on their Facebook page, showing off how, you know, look at me, look what I got. Or they'll flash a weapon and say, look at my toy. I got something for you if you come. Obviously, this was a little bit older, but it's amazing what all we've been able to do. I don't do press releases anymore. It's very rare that I send out a press release. Everybody thinks I do a lot because we get a lot of TV time, but we really don't. I post stuff on Facebook. All the Louisville, Lexington TV stations, our local newspaper, the Herald Leader, the Courier, they all follow us. And the next thing you know, when you post something, you might not get that instant call, but within a couple hours, typically the phone calls start coming in. And you know right away, is it a slow news day or a busy news day? Depending on what you post and what you get calls about. Because there's some stuff that's just informational only. You know, we're being transparent, we share, because if you see a bunch of sheriff's cars or emergency management cars or fire trucks, you want to know what's going on in the community. Your neighbors want to know. And this is a great way to do that. And as a result, we get calls all the time. I mean, there's some things that slow news days. And I'm like, really? You're really calling about this? And they have. So it's kind of neat. When we start collecting taxes, you know, we collect taxes. We're responsible for about almost $33 million that we collect. I'm personally liable for every penny. Oh my God. And as a result of that, we have been aggressive by putting it out there. Hey, taxes are coming, taxes are due. Paper picked up, did a couple stories on it for us. So that sure does help get it done. Some of the other things. This one over here on the far right, that was Operation Motor City. Has anybody got heroin problems in their community? Because it's everywhere. This one individual, the second one on the right up there, that young man was in a house that we hit down on Shelby Street here in downtown Frankfort. He was standing holding a weapon as deputies went through the door. He went and ran to the bathroom and tried to flush the weapon. I can't make it up, it's true, he really did. He went and tried to flush it. We were able to apprehend him and wound up with a huge amount of drugs and cash. But as part of that, the one individual was driving in a vehicle that we took down a little bit earlier and had been shot in Detroit during a drug deal. And the vehicle was shot up that he was in as well. We stopped him, got him. He went to the hospital here before we got him and went in under a different name. So the city police, by working with them, they were able to charge him for that. We got him for trafficking and bringing in heroin with his family. He had brothers and uncles that was also bringing heroin, but these were some of the local kids or local young folks. The one guy that I said had the gun and tried to flush it, his weight was down incredibly low. He probably wouldn't have been around much longer had we not been able to do what we did. But as that happened, a ton of information came in because we posted that and people see that we're going to act and do things. Some of the other things, Second Wind Dreams. This young lady was from Eastern Kentucky. She's out of one of our assisted living facilities, and she had a second wind dream of driving a sheriff's car. She was an administrative deputy and never got to drive a police car. So, not me, but one of the deputies, we set up and I let him ride with her, and we let her drive one of her cars over in Western Hills parking lot. Almost took out a cable, but we saved it. That's why the deputy was driving, because I wasn't going to take that. So, but it really neat, and as a result, we got to share that with the community here, and we had a ton of comments. There was 30, at this time on this post, there were over 31 comments and over 155, right, 55 likes and 18 shares. That at that time of that. So when we took this off the Facebook page, but you're communicating, you're being transparent, you're letting the community know what you're doing, and that's why you do this: the good times and the bad times. All right, I got this.
And now a story that ABC 36 News has been following since the beginning. The Franklin County Sheriff says his deputies aren't paid enough and that 9 of them make the same or even less than the county custodian. But all of that changed today. ABC 36's Amanda Stevenson has that story.
It was through the Franklin County Fiscal Court's doors that the Sheriff's Office fought a battle for a higher budget. And they won.
All right, Sheriff, congratulations, you got your budget.
But the celebrations came nearly 2 hours after the special meeting started and included numbers some of the magistrates called
pretty confusing.
And we're asking for an overall increase of 8.18%.
That increase includes allowances for a new vehicle, an equal salary for 9 of the department's lowest paid deputies, hiring a new deputy, and a 3% raise to the rest of Sheriff Pat Melton's staff. As Squire Philip Kring said,
It's an increase of $200,000 over what it was last year.
However,
$176,000 of that comes from the school system in reimbursements, Squire.
Though some did worry about having to pay for it,
I have a real problem with tax increases maybe going up.
Many in Franklin County backed the sheriff's office.
It'll help increase and maintain the community policing.
I mean, if anything, it would help.
So, with deputies and community members behind him, Sheriff Melton made his argument.
We've worked hard to try to whittle away and do what we can to make this where we can all live with it.
Some members of the fiscal court gave counteroffers.
My recommendation would be a flat 3%.
But a 4-3 vote resulted in the budget being adopted. And the sheriff says he's grateful for that.
In these economic times, everything's tight, and we have always been as frugal as we can with taxpayer money. We're going to continue to do that.
Sheriff's deputies say it was a long-fought battle, but a hard-earned win, and that they're glad they can move forward with a little more money to help them. In Franklin County, Amanda Stevenson, ABC 36 News.
And Sheriff Melton says changes in salaries will go into effect immediately. As for a search for that new deputy, he says the department should have a new one within the next 60 days.
The power of social media. We had community support behind us because we were transparent and told them what we were going to do. As a result, the lowest 10 paid employees in the Franklin County Sheriff's Office all got equity pay and were all brought up to the same salary. Professional employees for a professional wage. And that was important for me to be able to get that done. I couldn't have done it had we not had our Facebook and asked for the community support. We filled the room. There were people out in the hallway at that court meeting. So pretty cool. I do have 3 school resource deputies. We do get reimbursed I think it's up to $180,000 now that we get back from the school system that they pay the deputies' salaries. So transparency pays off. Also, our text to tip line, I can tell you case after case after case, whether we got a search warrant, got enough information, captured a wanted person, whatever we did with the text to tip. Our old school, everybody know who John Herbert Dillinger was, or Billy the Kid. That's the old school way of the wanted posters. Back when we took office, when we started, we come up with this. I drew it on a whiteboard in my office, said, here's what I want, here's what I want to do. And we do it. Now every 10 weeks, or every week, 10 names are added and we change it. If they're captured between now and then, we actually go across it, stamp it with captured by either FCSO, FPD, KSP, Tallahassee Sheriff's Office, whatever, in Florida. The power of social media, intelligence. This guy here was wanted, and as you can tell, people put everything up there. I'll say again, anything you put out there will stay there forever. We captured him, officer safety issue. That's an SKS, and he was already wanted for selling drugs, but you can read what he said as he showed off his weapon. So what's that tell us? We need to be ready when we go hit that house, because he's sure going to be.
An arrest is made in thanks part to Facebook. ABC 36's Lauren Jones has the details.
Deputies say Rod Lay, a wanted fugitive in Kentucky, was arrested Friday in Tallahassee, Florida.
He had 3 warrants out of Franklin County and then 2 warrants out of Anderson County, dealing with the DUI, child support, domestic violence, assault forth, fleeing and evading, resisting, a whole hodgepodge of charges.
Police say after Lay didn't show up for court, he was placed on Franklin County's most wanted website.
We got a tip that he had evidently seen our most wanted and took our most wanted, sheriff's most wanted image and pasted it to his page and said, Mitt Romney and Obama suck, vote for me, I'm a felon, pow pow.
When the sheriff's department checked out Lay's Facebook page, they say they also saw that he gave his address for his upcoming birthday party.
So Leon County Sheriff's Office in Florida, my detective here made contact with our county attorney who did a letter of extradition for us, Rick Sparks, and then come back, made contact with Leon County Sheriff's Office. And then Leon County Sheriff's Office is the one that actually went by that party twice that night to try to make contact with him.
Lay did not show for the party. He was later arrested at a loan-to-pay business. In Franklin County, Lauren Jones, ABC 36 News.
The Franklin County Sheriff's Department is working with the Leon County Sheriff's Office to extradite Lay.
You can't make it up. That's, the power of social media. That same type scenario has happened in Alabama. The Franklin County, Kentucky Sheriff's Office has been able to reach out because of social media. It can be used really, really good, and it can be really, really bad sometimes. You gotta, for him, he had a bad day. Some of the newer things that are out there, Homeland Security's got a new app, Eyes and Ears on Kentucky. Most of the emergency management folks are probably familiar with this. The National Sheriff's Association just come out with a new app. It's a neighborhood watch app. It's very similar to this, but you can actually, and we're going to try to go to it, I think, in January with the new county judge, but we'll actually be able to, you can shoot video, take pictures, send everything instant, it'll come into a dispatch, and then officers will be dispatched and deputies dispatched to wherever the problem is in the community. You got to make people aware of the app that's out there. This is a great app for the Fusion Center coming in from Homeland Security, and G. Kaiser and his team do a great job in working with that. But look at the way things have come and the direction that the future's going. 4 years ago, when we started this stuff, it was cutting edge. Now, we're a little bit behind the curve. 4 years. So embrace it. Use it for the things. The information that you can get out on it is amazing. And also, people are very, very critical. If you do a typo, sometimes with these meat hooks typing on this thing, a little bitty keypad, sometimes you misspell a word, and they will let you know really, really quick. So make sure you proof everything. Go back and read what you post, but be aware of that. There's our contact information. If you need anything, holler. If you're not following us on Facebook, Franklin County Sheriff, make sure you go and follow us. It's a great source of information, especially because Frankfort is a hub for everybody coming and going, especially in government. Everybody comes here, and you may wind up stuck in a wreck on I-64. You can go to our page. We'll have something out there that will direct you around that.